going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams. Thank you very much for tuning in, for it is Saturday. It is new release Saturday, and today we're going to be discussing the Disney Plus original series Secret Invasion, starring Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn, Kingsley Ben-Adir, Killian Scott, Dermot Mulroney, Emilia Clarke, Olivia Colman, Don Cheadle, Kobe Smulders, and Martin Friedman. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, it's Saturday, new release Saturday, going up a little bit later than normal, but that's okay. We're still getting our stuff in here today. And today we're going to be discussing the Disney Plus original series, Secret Invasion. Now, some of you remember this was supposed to be a new release Saturday release. I want to say the end of July I was supposed to do this, or the beginning of August. And for whatever reason, just didn't get it done, didn't have the time to sit down and watch it. Had the time recently, watched all 6 episodes. We're going to treat the entire series as one, not go episode by episode. So bear with me as this may be a long synopsis. Let's get into it here, shall we? And our show begins in Moscow, Russia, as Talos pursues Everett K. Ross for killing CIA agent Prescott, who theorized that shape-shifting Skrull rebels who are frustrated that Talos and Nick Fury have not found them a new planet intend to incite a war between Russia and the United States in order to take over Earth. Maria Hill arrives in order to assist Ross, but discovers that he is in fact a Skrull. She calls Fury, who has been working in space for years following the blip. Upon returning to Earth, Fury learns that Talos has been exiled from the Skrull Council and replaced by former ally Gravik, the leader of the rebels. Fury is kidnapped by MI6 agents who are working for his old acquaintance, Sonya Falsworth, who refuses to work with Fury in order to stop Gravik. While using a bug to eavesdrop on her, Fury and Talos locate the Skrulls, who have procured dirty bombs for the rebels, including Talos' daughter, Gaia. After Talos reveals that Gaia's mother, Soren, was killed by the rebels, Gaia reveals the rebels' plan to attack on Unity Day. Fury, Hill, and Talos fail to intercept the bombs before Gravik can detonate them, and in the ensuing chaos, Gravik disguises himself as Nick Fury and kills Maria Hill. We then flash back to 1997 as Fury recruits several Skrull refugees, including a young, orphaned Gravik, in exchange for helping them find a brand new home planet. Back in the present day, Talos reveals to Fury that 1,000,000 Skrulls are now living on Earth. As the US is being implicated in the bombing, Gravik meets with the Skrull Council and gains majority support in order to lead the Skrulls in a new war. Dissenting councilwoman Shirley Sager contacts Talos in order to arrange a meeting between him and Gravik. Meanwhile, in London, Fury meets with Colonel James Rhodes in order to explain the situation, but Rhodes discharges Fury and blames him for the bombing and for Maria Hill's death. Meanwhile, Falsworth interrogates an imprisoned rebel named Brogan, who reveals that Gravik is building a machine capable of strengthening the Skrulls with help from a scientist couple, the Daltons. Gaia discovers that the rebels are experimenting with powered DNA before accompanying Gravik to kill Brogan. Fury returns home and is met by his wife, a Skrull named Vera, who has taken on the human identity of Priscilla Davis. Gravik reveals to the Skrull Council that he intends to create super Skrulls with special abilities by using the powered DNA, having used himself as the first successful test subject. He also explains that he has sent rebels to infiltrate the Royal Navy in order to launch missiles at a United Nations aircraft. Gravik meets with Talos to negotiate a parley, but the discussion breaks down when the former threatens to kill Gaia. Gaia secretly sends Talos information about the Royal Navy attack, while Fury, angry that Talos allowed so many Skrulls to infiltrate Earth, reluctantly asks Talos to help him stop Gravik. They contact Falsworth and learn the name of the Naval Command Headquarters officer in charge, Commodore Robert Fairbanks. Fury and Talos break into Fairbanks's home and interrogate him, but they discover that he is a Skrull. After he provokes Talos into killing him, Talos contacts Gaia, who acquires Fairbanks's authorization code so that they can abort the missile launch just in the nick of time. Gaia attempts to run away, but Gravik, who suspected her of betrayal, shoots her and leaves her for dead. Meanwhile, Vera secretly contacts an unknown person, wishing to speak to Gravik, but she is denied. Now, before she attempted to run away from the rebels, Gaia used Gravik's machine to empower herself with extremis abilities. This allows her to recover from Gravik's gunshot and meet with Talos. He explains to her that he is planning to ask the United States President Ritson to help the Skrulls after they successfully stop the rebels, which disappoints Gaia, who had hoped for a stronger plan to find them a new home. Vara ends up meeting with Rhodes, who is a disguised Skrull named Rava, and is instructed to kill Nick Fury. Having secretly listened to their conversation, Fury confronts Vara over this, but they reconcile after she reveals that she took an oath to her human counterpart to never harm her lover. Fury visits Rava and shares a drink with her, secretly planting a liquid tracker on her. Fury and Talos then follow Rava as she picks up Ritson for talks with Russia. Gravik and the rebels then attack Ritson's convoy disguised as Russian terrorists. Fury and Talos extract an unconscious President Ritson, but Gravik kills Talos in the process. Following their failed attack on Ritson, the rebels start to lose faith in Gravik for not killing Fury and his perceived deception towards them. A new recruit named Bito leads a small group in mounting a mutiny, but Gravik kills all of them. Meanwhile, Fury gets Ritson to a hospital and confronts Rava, but she reveals that she has leaked footage of Maria Hill's death. Placing Fury on a global watch list, Fury later meets with Gaia, who reveals that Gravik is looking for the harvest. After exposing her superior, Derek Weatherby, as a Skrull, Falsworth locates Dr. Rosa Dalton, another disguised Skrull, and questions her about Gravik's DNA machine. Rava shows Ritson pictures of Gravik's Russian base, New Skrullos, in order to implicate Russia as Skrull sympathizers and advise a strike on the compound. Gravik calls Fury, offering to call off the strike if he will bring him the harvest in person. Gaia and Vara hold a funeral for Talos and fend off an attack led by Gravik's men. In Finland, Fury leads Falsworth to a grave marked with his name, which contains the Harvest, a collection of DNA from the superheroes who fought during the Battle of Earth. Fury takes the Harvest and prepares to confront Gravik. Fury confronts Gravik at New Skrullos and gives him the Harvest and requests that he spare Earth and instead conquer other planets. But Gravik refuses before using the Harvest to empower herself and attempt to kill Fury, only to discover that it's Gaia in disguise, who has also used the Harvest. The two fight, with Gaia eventually killing Gravik. Meanwhile, Rava successfully convinces Ritson to authorize a nuclear attack on New Skrullos, but is tricked by Falsworth into arranging Ritson's evacuation. Rava attempts to retaliate but is killed by Fury. Ritson calls off the strike, allowing Gaia to free Gravik's human prisoners, such as Everett Ross and James Rhodey Rhodes. In the aftermath, Ritson issues a new bill declaring all off-world species as hostile forces and threatens to hunt down the remaining Skrulls on Earth, causing unrest as civilians publicly murder various high-profile officials for fear that they are in fact Skrulls. Falsworth meets with Gaia and proposes a partnership to protect the Skrulls against Ritson's bill. After cautioning Ritson about the unrest that he has caused, Fury asks Vara to come to Saber with him to help negotiate a peace summit with the Kree. She agrees, and they leave Earth together as our Disney Plus original series, Secret Invasion, comes to its close. This was a fun series to watch. Much like all the Marvel stuff, this really tied in good with some of the other stuff. Obviously, you had Talos, which goes back to Captain Marvel, the Skrull, the Kree, and all that. You've got the death of Nick Fury, which goes back to, I want to say, Captain America Winter Soldier. You've got the Battle of Earth, which goes back to Avengers Endgame, and the Harvest being the collection of DNA from everybody that fought in that battle. You figure the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, so many people fought in that war, even Howard the Duck. All of their DNA has been collected in this Harvest and is being used now to power other people. Extremis going back to Iron Man 3. So many different little layers here that tied things. Never knew Nick Fury had a wife. That was a mind-blowing moment right there, discovering that he is married and it was kept off the books. But in reality, it's not that surprising when you figure Hawkeye is married and his family is kept off the books. So if Nick Fury can keep Hawkeye's family off the books, why the hell wouldn't he be able to keep his own family off the books? Learning that there's a million Skrulls on Earth had to be a moment for Fury, because it's like, well, damn, who can I trust in this war? But the writing of this was so good. Believe it or not, this was probably about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4.5 hours worth of television. Because the first two episodes were about an hour. The second two episodes were about 45 minutes. And the last two episodes were a little over a half hour each. So you figure 4.5 hours of television here within these 6 episodes. Very easily could have been a movie. You figure Avengers Endgame was 3.5 hours. So you chop an hour of this out and you could have done it theatrically. Probably wouldn't have done the box office that some of the other Marvel movies have done, if we're being honest. Especially since the only real characters that came back were Fury, Talos, and Rhodey. Yes, Maria Hill and Everett Ross came back, but their roles were minor at best. with Maria Hill dying in the first episode and Everett Ross dying, but coming to find out he was a Skrull all along. You know, he was released from his imprisonment at the end of the last episode, so he maybe had about 15 minutes of TV time. Maria Hill, maybe about a half hour. But the rest of them, Rhodes, Fury, and Talos, definitely the recurring factors here throughout the rest of the series. It was good to see Rhodey get a little bit of love without Tony Stark. Not going to knock that. Definitely was cool seeing Don Cheadle as Rhodey without having to be in Tony's shadow. But yeah, this was an entertaining series. It wasn't my favorite of the Marvel TV shows that have come out. I still tend to favor either season 1 of Loki or WandaVision on any given day. More often than not, leaning more towards WandaVision, but it was well done and I thoroughly enjoyed it. When it comes to my rating on Secret Invasion, I'm going to give it a solid 4 stars out of 5. I thought, although slow paced because of stretching it out over TV, I thought the story flowed well. I thought the acting was good. I thought the characters were good. I thought the conflict was good. I liked the fact that you had SHIELD, MI6, CIA all kind of coming together in this big war that's being positioned here between the people of Earth and the Skrulls. The cameos, the callbacks. What did you guys think of Secret Invasion? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation, the discussion, the debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys stay tuned later on this evening, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, as it'll be time once again for the Saturday night shenanigans that are Open Mic Night. Myself, the Simple Man Noah Foster, the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham, all be in attendance, along with whoever else decides that they want to stroll through the doors of the club, enter the studio, step up to the microphone, and engage us in the week that is professional wrestling. Lots to talk about today. SmackDown moving to the USA Network in 2024. The WWE going down under with the Elimination Chamber. Lots of talents released. The condition of Jon Moxley after his apparent injury on AEW Dynamite this past week. And so much more in store on the Saturday night shenanigans that are Open Mic Night. And then on Monday, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, will be another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, and we'll be wrapping up back to school month with our final week of content, kicking it off with Dead Man on Campus, starring Mark Paul Gosselaar, Tom Everett Scott, Poppy Montgomery, Allison Hannigan, Jason Siegel, and Linda Cardellini. You don't want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the greater Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, Open Mic Night, Dead Man on Campus, and so much more in store as we wrap up this month of back to school movies here on the Casa D18 Studios channel on Renegades Reviews. Again, you don't want to miss any of it, so make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Statboy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, pay-per-view PLE watch-along coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of Samuel L. Jackson, fans of Ben Mendelsohn, fans of Don Cheadle, fans of Kobe Smulders, fans of Martin Freeman, fans of Marvel Comics, fans of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Anybody you can think of that would enjoy this content in this video, shared with them, as it's the only way we're going to keep my visibility up in YouTube's algorithms now that we are in fact a monetized channel right here on the platform. Thank you once again to everybody out there who joined me and tuned in today. It means so much more to me than you guys will ever know. And I will see you guys next time.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.